I'm back. Hope you guys are doing well, and we're here to talk about Jey Uso again. Imagine that. It's 2025, we're going to talk about Jey Uso. This guy has been the story of the year, at different periods, I guess you could say, based on how kind of all in WWE went on Jey Uso, winning the Royal Rumble to start the year. He won the World Heavyweight Championship from Gunther at WrestleMania 41, and now we got more Jey Uso drama. Drama within the Bloodline, although it doesn't seem, at least at the current time, to involve Roman Reigns. It is going to involve Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso. What's going to happen moving forward with this newly reformed tag team between the Usos? We're going to get into that. Before we get into it, I want to tell you, thank you for being patient. As I mentioned a couple months back, I just could have hit a burnout with the WWE. And so if you're wondering why no video the past 3 weeks, well, it's kind of been the same situation. I've just kind of been burnt out on WWE, burnt out on making videos at times on YouTube. That in and of itself can be a task sometimes when you've got a lot of other stuff going on. So I appreciate you guys being patient. And I wanted to jump back in, though, kind of getting the itch again to get back to it. Sometimes you just got to take a step back. But let's talk about Jey Uso, because they set it up on Raw that the Usos are back. They're back together. They're going to jump back into the tag team division. And they're coming after the champs, AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. They're also coming after their biggest rival in WWE history in the New Day. And so you got a lot of things brewing right now for the Usos. Just picked back up from Survivor Series, and here is where we're at, right? This is the new direction. You kind of wondered coming out of War Games what was going to be the new direction for all of these guys that were in it. And we're starting to see that for other various competitors. But for the Usos, it's them rejoining, getting back together, and all that. Well, of course, it's kind of weird because, well, we're only a week removed from Jey Uso losing the opportunity to have a shot at being in John Cena's final match, the man who he pushed out at the end of the Royal Rumble to become the surprising Royal Rumble winner, and then again, going on to define his career by being the World Heavyweight Champion after WrestleMania. And so all of a sudden, we're just going to pivot to Jey Uso reforming the team with Jimmy to get back their tag team goal, to prove that they are the best tag team in WWE history. Well, this is kind of interesting, isn't it? That this is the direction we're headed in. Because of why? Well, there are lots of reasons why we could sort of throw this back and say, this is a curious move, and maybe it is setting up something significant for Jey Uso moving forward. But not significant in that it could involve a title, but maybe that Jey Uso heel turn that some people have been thought has been coming for a while may actually be about to take place. And the reason I say that is, Jey basically, as most people noted online, this man crashed out after losing at the LA Knight in the last Time Is Now tournament. He sat there, didn't know what to do, got frustrated, threw the Prime, the hydration station, just destroyed it. The man was pissed because, well, he felt like that was his last chance, right? To become relevant again, maybe. After losing the World Championship, we've mentioned in previous videos how Jey had the fall from grace. Once you get that taste of success at the top, it's a real hit to all of a sudden fall back down the ladder and try to work your way back up. Well, that was a way to do it, right? He had a chance. He came up short, just as he had a chance to regain his World Heavyweight Championship the past several months. He came up short. So what does Jey do now? He goes back to the known. He goes back to the thing that he feels like he can trust the most. That is his brother, Jimmy Uso, but also the fact that they are the best tag team in WWE history. And he feels like chasing the goal that he's had the most success with will give Jey that validation again, right? Even though he's lost out on the world title, he's lost out on having the spot in John Cena's final match, a potential career-defining moment. Now he's going to go back to what worked previously, and that is the tag team with his brother to finally get some gold back around his waist. That, to me, is the story here. And why it's so fascinating is because of how WWE let it unfold. It was Jimmy Uso taking the mic on Raw and saying all of this stuff that I just said about how not exactly been a great sort of, this part of the year for us, right? Losing in War Games. Jey lost the World Heavyweight title. All this stuff. And you can tell as he's saying that, you watch the visuals. Go back and watch the replay of Jey's face. It is Jey just inwardly just burning up inside. Like he is hearing this again. He's heard it so many times, not from other people, but he's heard it in his own head. He's lost the title. They lost at War Games. They've kind of had this sort of downfall after having the world at their fingertips the first half of the year because Jey was on top, right? But now the second half has been different because Jimmy's lost matches, which unfortunately nothing new. But Jey is losing matches and his brother is bringing it up. And so what happens now when we go down this path? And it is one where Jey comes up short again and he realizes that he's again chasing this validation that he needs more than anything in the world. And if they come up short to get there, what does Jey have left? He's exhausted every single avenue that he feels like puts him back in that position of feeling like he is the best, feeling like he is on top. And remember the comment he made about after he lost to LA Knight about how, turning it back to sort of, well, yeah, Roman is the champion, right? That's what feels right. Roman being the champ. So Jey's doubting himself, but he's also trying to fix that by going back to the thing that he had a lot of confidence in, and that is being in a team because he doesn't now believe he can do it by himself. So once Jimmy screws up, which is going to happen, folks, I'm telling you, the way this thing plays out, there will be some sort of thing that we get to where Jimmy accidentally does something that costs him a match or something like that, right? You see where we're headed here. Jey felt like he hit a breaking point after losing to LA Knight, just as he had felt like he had hit a breaking point before that. But this is going to be the one with his brother within the Usos tag team that is going to send Jey completely headed in the wrong direction, where I think it will be your official Jey Uso heel turn. Or WWE could play it like they like to play it. You kind of have that gray area and all of that. Any way you slice it here, I think they are clearly setting this up to where Jey Uso may have, as some people thought, crashed out last week. I think we're heading to the biggest one of all, where this guy is going to finally snap and realize that just tasting that bit of success could have been the worst thing for him because now he's realizing he doesn't know if he can get it back ever again. And there's no Roman right there right now. We know Reigns will be back, for Royal Rumble WrestleMania season. But right now, Jey only has his brother to lean on. And if he realizes, hey, that was a thing of the past, he's chasing nostalgia, and it's just not going to give him anything that he needs, it's not going to end well for Jim. Big Jim may be in trouble. And so, those are the kind of things that I think you have to look at with the way they set this up, having Jimmy reel off all these things in that promo that had gone wrong for not just him, but for Jey, and Jey having to listen to it and still having the voices in his head, Randy Orton style. It's not gonna go well for either Uso. And so, yes, they may get their shot, and this may be a long story, right? This may take a little time to play out. And depending on how long this plays out, because you got to think too, and I mean, this is worth mentioning, Jimmy's probably going to take some time off at some point within the next, 6 months? Because Naomi is going to have their child. And so, this may be a storyline that gets played out a little while. It may take a little time to get through this, but I think you have to look at the possibility that Jey turning on Jimmy and having that sort of dedicated heel turn, even with all the yeeting and all this stuff going on, it's a slippery slope. It's the same way we talked about with Cody Rhodes and all that. Everybody wanted Cody to turn heel. We're like, the reason Cody's not going to turn heel is because too many merch sales out there for Cody Rhodes. And so, you have to walk a fine line here and decide if you want to go all the way with this. But I think the way they're setting it up, it at least seems to be leading us in that direction. Or maybe WWE tells us a fine story of Jey and his downfall, but then, in the end, his honor and his pride is too much, and the man finds himself and finds his way back, and you don't have the official heel turn. That is possible, I suppose. But I think we're certainly looking at a more realistic scenario here with Jey, maybe than we were with some of the others that we talked about in recent months, just because they seem to be setting it up that way. And if Jey's the person to take out Jimmy, maybe down the road, Big Jim's off TV, caring for his new child, all that, that may be where we're headed. Or what else do you do with Jey? Jey needs the reset, right? because you kind of feel like he is certainly taken a step back. And I feel like that's the story, though, is that Jey has taken a step back, and now you have to decide, do you want to go back with him to where you get him back to that top level, or is this just kind of where he stays, and now you have to find a way to tweak the Jey Uso character to keep him relevant in that top tier of WWE superstars, and I think that's what they're doing right now. So we're going to see what happens, but I think they have things in the works here. They're hinting at it. They're teasing it, that they're going to do something with Jey. And I think it's going to be Big Jim. Once again, Jey and Jimmy, just as they've been since birth, these guys are going to be connected in this entire thing, and we'll see how it plays out. Some people have asked, does that mean we're getting Jey and Jimmy again at WrestleMania? I don't know. Maybe they're going to do the redo. Maybe they want the redo from the match they had previously that did not go over well. Maybe that's what they want. They want to just wipe that away, exceed expectations this time. Who knows? Because right now, outside of just doing a simple tag team match with the two at WrestleMania next year, I don't really see any sort of immediate plans, singles-wise, for either of them. So maybe this is where we're going. We'll find out. Let me know what you think. Is the Jey Uso heel turn going to happen? What do you think about the way WWE set it up on Raw this week? Always appreciate your feedback. Drop your opinions in the comments. And again, I appreciate your patience. Like I said, burnout is real. Kind of hit that with making videos and just watching WWE in general. I just feel like we're kind of in sort of a malaise here, just kind of in a lull. But hey, we're back. Let's talk about it, and we'll get more stuff coming here on the channel. Appreciate you guys watching as always. Let me know your thoughts on a potential Jey Uso heel turn.